What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We conclude our 2023 prediction series here with the California Golden Bears. So this is the final team as we've gone through every single Power 5 team. Of course, we're recapping those predictions, showing you what the standings would look like, who's going to win the conference championship games. So watch for those conference videos, and then I'll also have my playoff predictions, bowl projections, all of that coming up here in just a couple of days. So let's get into it here with Cal. You see some of the other predictions. The FPI has them at 5.6 and 6.4. Athlon has them at 5 and 7. The over/under I've seen at 5 and 5.5. I was actually surprised because I thought people were going to overlook this team, and I was expecting those numbers to be like 4 and 8, more like 4 and 8. And I thought, people are going to miss the mark with Cal. And I think they probably got it about right. I think that's about where this team is. They've got a deep team, a lot of experience on this team. I think adding Ben Finley at quarterback through the transfer portal is really going to be big for them. Offensive line is maybe an area where I'm concerned about them, but offensively otherwise look pretty good. The defense looks pretty solid. Now, they're not going to be as talented as those top teams in the Pac-12, but I don't think they're anywhere near the bottom of the Pac-12 in terms of talent. They're kind of middle of the road, and again, a ton of experience coming back. So I think this team could be a surprise team this year. I'm not going to go too overboard with my predictions, which we'll show you here, but I think they're going to be a decent team and a team that could possibly get to a bowl game this year. They open up with North Texas on the road. I think this is one that they'll win, so they take care of business in that first game. And then they get Auburn at home. I think they've got a shot in this game. It's a late night game for Auburn. The game's going to be at 10:30 Eastern time. They've got to travel all the way across the country, and it's game 2 under Hugh Freeze. So I think that there's a chance that Cal pulls off the upset here. But I do think overall Auburn does have the more talented roster, and I think they're going to find a way to get it done. But it wouldn't surprise me if Cal won this game. But I'm going to say Auburn wins, and then I think Cal beats Idaho the next week. Washington on the road, going to be a tough one. I think this Washington team's just too good. Cal will compete for a while, but not going to be able to win this one. And then they get Arizona State on September the 30th at home. Pretty even matchup. I think these rosters are fairly even. I think Arizona State's another team that people are overlooking just a little bit. But I think Cal at home is able to get the win. So I've got them beating Arizona State. Then they get Oregon State on October the 7th. And, I do think this Cal team is going to get a big win this year. I think they get one somewhere, and I think this is a good matchup for them. Both teams are going to want to run the football, lower scoring game. I think Cal is able to pull off a shocker. They upset Oregon State. They get to 4-2, but then the next week they have to go on the road to face Utah. Going to be a very tough game here against a really good Utah team. And again, playing on the road. Coming off of a big win, I expect a letdown. I think they lose. Then they get USC at home after a bye week. Will they be able to compete with the Trojans? I'm going to say no. I think this USC team just too good. It's same thing with Oregon. This is going to be a really good Oregon team. Plus, this game's on the road. So I don't see them winning any of those 3 games. Then they'll play Washington State on November 11th at home. They've got a shot in this game. I really think they do. It's going to be a Washington State team that I think is going to surprise people this year. I think they're going to be better than you might think. Problem with the Pac-12, though, is you've got 5 or 6 teams who are going to be really, really good. And so you're looking at those teams behind them that could possibly surprise. And yeah, they might be better than you might think, but they're still not going to be able to win those games, or maybe win one of them. Like I've got them beating Oregon State. So I think that's kind of the story with a team like Washington State and Cal. But I think Washington State is the better team, a little bit more talent. It's going to be a close one. I think that's a chance for Cal to win, and possibly that win could get them to a bowl game, or maybe even a win over Auburn. But I'm going to say they lose. I think Stanford on the road is a win for Cal. I think they're the better team. I don't think Stanford's going to be good at all. And then UCLA to close things out. Going to be a tough matchup here for Cal. I think they lose this one. So I've got them at 5 and 7. Again, I'm right there in line with those other predictions. But I think 6 and 6 is definitely a possibility. I do think they'll knock off Arizona State, Stanford, and maybe pull off an upset win like we've got here against Oregon State. And then, like I said, maybe they beat Auburn or Washington State at home. If they could win one of those 2 games, they could get to a bowl game. But I'm not gonna pull the trigger though. I've got them at 5 and 7, and that's my prediction for Cal. And again, we are wrapping up all these predictions. A lot of content coming up as we get ready for the start of the season. It is almost here, but I'd love to get your thoughts on Cal. So let me know what you think about this team. What are your predictions? Let me know down in the comments below.